Hey guys, thanks for joining episode 2 here of Curious Conversations with Lala. Today's episode is going to be titled A Father's Fight. Here joining me, we have Cade Ishman out of Freeport, Illinois, here to talk about his son, Jace Ishman. Cade, how's it going today, man? Tell us about the
Um,
situation.
it's just another day looking for my son. For the past 5 years. Obviously I haven't had any type of contact or communication with him. Um, our last point of contact was 5 years ago, during the beginning of COVID. I was notified by his mom basically that, just because all the sicknesses and everything going around, she thinks it's best if I don't see him for a while. And at first I understood that. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
And then it just, from there, I didn't have any more communication with him.
Mhm.
And it was basically a big snowball effect of what's been going on.
Gotcha. So, what was your relationship, would you say, with his mother and with Jace before you guys lost contact?
It was great. I mean, obviously we broke up, but it wasn't anything physical, anything like that. There's no cases, no anything like that. And with that being said, we used to co-parent so well. I would go and pick up Jace. I mean, she would call me, I would call her. We would even go get lunch.
Mhm.
With my current girlfriend and her. I mean, we were friends. And then it just all went downhill, when she married and basically disappeared off the face of the earth.
Gotcha. And so, tell us a little bit about where Brittany's from. Is she from the same area as you, or what?
Yeah,
What's her?
yeah. So she's from Hanover, Illinois.
Oh,
It's probably 20 minutes away from Freeport, Illinois. That's where she's from, and we met right around that area, and we were together for a few years, and we obviously had Jace, and as I stated, when we broke up, it was peaceful. I mean, everything, it was fine. You
mhm,
know, then she obviously got married, and I get this letter, and it's like, hey, here's an emergency order of protection. To this day, I still don't know what that was for. And that got dropped our next court date. So what that was basically a control thing to monitor the situation. I have to go through you to speak to my son. You're not gonna, talk to my wife. It was a dominance thing. It was a power thing.
mhm,
And I didn't think that was right. James was also hit by a car during, I think it was like 2018-ish, right around there, because he was unsupervised. He was
mhm,
playing outside, ran in the streets, but kids are, stuff like that happens and whatnot, and I know she didn't mean to. I know nobody would want a child to go through that. you
right.
know so I just, it we didn't have any bad feelings about that when that happened. Obviously, I was upset, she was hurt, he was hurt, we could have lost him.
Mhm,
um everything just changed when her last name changed, and I lost total communication, all communication with him.
And
Um,
and
but
how old was he when you last saw him? I know you said 2020.
yep, so he was 4 years old. I had his birthday party at my mom's house in East Dubuque, Illinois. And then that was the last time, I actually seen him.
Mhm. And
Um, but
did anything transpire prior to the her COVID messages or anything?
can
Um,
you elaborate on that a little bit?
as far as like Jace, because I've been for those of you that are watching right now, Cade does have a TikTok, and I know that he's been utilizing that platform and Facebook to get his story out there. And I know that
Absolutely.
there was I looked at one TikTok where there was some questionable markings on Jace that you had brought up to
Yeah.
Brittany.
Yep, absolutely. So, when they got together, I started seeing like these like marks on him, just head, shoulder, neck area. But I figured he was, he's a small boy. He'd bump into things. I mean, that was her story. That was their. Kids, stuff like that happens. And to this day, I'm kicking myself in the head because there was there was signs of abuse back then, and I was blind to it.
Hmm.
I didn't realize it. Um, and it's when I started asking questions too. Then it
Yeah.
started getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and then it got more controlling on her end.
Hmm.
With me not being able to see him communicate and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack here for those of you that are watching this. What is like the court system saying, or how did they intervene, or even law enforcement? What was that process like? Even now, what's been going?
So the court system, it opened back up in 2022. I did file a case. Obviously everything was shut down because of COVID. And when that was over, I went down to the courthouse and I said, hey, I haven't seen my son. I have visitation. It's on paper. She's been violating it.
Hmm.
And with that being said, the judge actually retired who put that visitation order in place. Now the new judge could not find that visitation order at all. So, here's the idea. We're gonna make you a new visitation order. I'm like, all right, good, great. I'm gonna be able to see him. And from that point, that's when everything snowballed. Everything for years and years and years. We have been trying to get her served. We have done publication. We've done private investigators. We've done a certified letter. People going to their houses. They've even moved houses because people were going there and then knocking on the door. There's a camera in place right
Hmm.
at the front door, so they can see when an officer's there that has a badge or anything. And just won't open it. Now, the problem was with the visitation. Um, since they couldn't get her served, we had to go through all these steps. 2022 FA 62 is my case.
Hmm.
It's the year right now is 2025, and she has not been to one court date. Not one. I've had to beg for a warrant. I've had to beg to put her picture out there, and it's like, hey guys, something's not right, and currently right now she's had a warrant for the past 2 months and we still haven't seen Jace.
Wow.
We still haven't seen him. No one.
Hmm.
Like there's no phone, there's no Facebook, there's no anything. They have fake profiles, obviously. I'm sure that they watch my content, and I hope they do, and I hope my son's okay.
Right.
I just want to get it out that this is so much bigger than Cade can't see his kid.
Hmm.
That's over with. We're up here with everything. It's escalated that much.
Yeah.
And
And I,
I just want people to take it a lot more seriously. I mean, this is serious. Like, Jace is missing.
yeah, of course. No, I think it all boils down to his safety. Because a lot of times, especially in the court system, they're always ruling in the mother's favor. We hear more cases of mothers kind of going through this situation. It's very rare that you hear
Yep.
a father, fighting for their son, or just to be able to see them. So I really commend you. I wanted to say that first and foremost. Your strength is just out of this world, and I know every day can't be easy with what you've been dealing with, and even
Yeah.
with like
Thank
law
you.
enforcement. You're welcome in the court system. It's a whole lot to unpack. I'm really hoping that whoever's listening to this tonight does have strength and they are encouraged by hearing your story. What's the latest right now? I know that you were talking about the courts and the warrants and all that, and her picture is out there now officially.
Absolutely.
So what's the latest on the case itself with Jace?
The judge says, I just had court Friday,
Hmm.
this past Friday. He said, "Is there any updates?" I said, "No, there's not." He said, "Well, I can't do anything. My hands are tied. I'm not the state's attorney. I can't up her charges. I can't. You just have to keep working with law enforcement and police, and you got to try to find her and get her in this courtroom. And that's the issue. So, from that, I kind of did some deep thinking, and you know, I just want to reiterate that I'm starting to feel like Brittany is also a victim too,
Mm-hmm.
and she's being, held, against her will. Can't think for herself. Maybe might feel trapped. I don't hate Brittany. I don't. That's my child's mom. And I did not want to go through all this. I never would have imagined that all this stuff would be happening right now. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think she's in trouble too. I know that she has a daughter as well. That she came with in her new marriage. I don't know if that father is around. I don't know, and I don't know what's happening to her. I don't know how she's treated. I mean, I I'm worried really for both of them. To be honest, and I just wish she would come forward,
Yeah.
and do what's right, because I didn't do anything to deserve this. I mean, you can look at my record and see I'm not a bad person.
Right.
You know, um, I just yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt here.
No,
My
you're
question
okay.
when it comes to Brittany, have you had any contact at all with her family? Like, do they know where she's at or been
No.
cooperating with you?
So her family actually, the ones who will work with me, they said they haven't seen her in years. She's changed. Doesn't come to events. They don't really have any communication with her at all.
Mm.
There's friends that have came forward, and they're like, me and Brittany, we're best friends. Like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
This isn't like her. I don't know who this person is. And that worries them. There's people who are friends of her, Brittany, that are reaching out to me, and they're even making videos. They're trying to find Jace. There's a whole community just looking for my son, and with the warrant that she has, that is a Class A misdemeanor, correct, for
Mhm.
the unlawful visitation.
Right.
So that's booking release.
Hmm.
But what I'm trying to reiterate to the state's attorney, the courts, that this is so much bigger than just she missed a drop off. She never came.
Right.
I went to pick him up, and she never. I called, disconnected. I
Five
I
years.
I've sent people to over to the house to try and knock. There's no answer. There's cameras. There's so much secrecy. There's so much secrecy that has gone on in that house, and nobody can seem to get any entry.
Hmm.
Nobody can. No one's seen Brittany. No one's seen Jace. I just found out my son was alive. I just found out my son was alive maybe 4 months ago, because somebody was able to get a picture of him. And then before that, I found out that my son was still alive because of you.
Hmm.
You sent me a picture, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. I cried.
Hmm.
I just want my son to be okay. That's all I want. And I want him home, and I know something's wrong, and I just need the help from people. I'm
Hmm.
not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything. I just a private investigator, an attorney. I've been doing this on my own. Maybe that's why I've got this runaround for 3 years. But look at all that wasted time.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back and reiterate the court paper when he put the motion in for visitation. Now we're running around trying to find Jason, get her served for 3 years, but she was already served the visitation papers in 2018. I already had custody. She's been breaking it since 2018.
That's
So
crazy.
all that time, all that wasted time and effort, 3 years,
Hmm.
and the warrants got out 2 months ago. And the crazy thing about it is, you said. it's harder for guys in the court system, and it's harder, for us to actually have rights. But the messed up part about it is everybody knows that, and nothing's being done about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a household thing that everybody,
Yeah.
it's it's a lot harder for guys. It's very extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to David and Goliath, honestly.
It really is, Cade. And like I said, your strength is amazing throughout all of this, because this is something you don't hear about. It's
Yeah.
honestly, it gives me chills when I think about this case,
Yeah.
yours in particular, because it's something that you would see out of a movie. I
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted you to tell the listeners right now was, what is the update as far as Jace goes. I know that you have reported him into a national database. Tell us about
Yeah.
what that database is.
Yeah, we have a caseworker now, that's trying to locate him. He's in the national database for missing persons, and I just never thought I would have to go. I would go through something like this. I just never thought. I never imagined in a million years that my son would be on one of those. I've got people making flyers. I've I,
And
I'm
again, you've got our continued support. Whoever's watching this, if you have any connections with anyone that you think that could help Cade, even donations for a private investigator. Cade, what's your TikTok handler if you want to just shout that out to people here?
It's
Follow
Kate
you.
Alex at Kate Alex. I'm fairly new to TikTok and still trying to get everything navigated, how to edit videos and do this and do that. But it's Kate Alex on TikTok, KADEALEX. Um, I just follow my story and just please just be Jason's voice, and just
It's all right, man.
sorry.
No, you're okay. Um, what's your message, Cade? To other fathers in your situation. What's your takeaway that you want to just give to the people with your story?
Don't give up.
Hmm.
Don't give up. There's been so many days where I would come to court. For the past 3 years I've been coming to court, and here's a piece of paper. See you next month. See you next month. And it got to the point where it was like, how many times are we gonna see each other? How many times are we gonna see each other, Judge?
Hmm.
How many times are we gonna why am I going in this loop? My son's not even in school. His medical record's not non existent.
It's crazy.
I don't know how his health is. I don't know. I don't know how his teeth are. I don't know how. I don't know.
Hmm.
But you've seen the evidence that I have, which will not be released. But
Hmm.
you've seen it, and it's just it's sickening.
Hmm.
It's sickening because it's so true. And I just really want to give you a big shout out for the podcast and just giving me this platform, because it's gonna take a village, and it has.
You're welcome, Kate. Is there any final words that you wanted to leave us with before we end today's episode? Or
I just want Dad to know, don't give up.
yeah,
Please don't give up. And I want people to be Jason's voice, because right now that little boy is wondering where I'm at, and he's been wondering where I'm at. And I want him to know one day that I tried and I did not give up. And I want him to know that his dad's out here looking for him.
yeah, you are, and you're a beautiful human, and it's okay what you're feeling right now. Cade, we love you, and I just wanted to say this to the viewers. Right now, Brittany is a wanted individual, so if you do see Brittany out and about, please contact police. Do not contact Cade, blowing his phone up. Saying that you saw her, just call the police immediately so that Jace can be brought to safety. I just wanted to put that out there. Cade is going through so much right now, and just to protect his peace and energy, if you can help him in any way, if you see Brittany, who may also be in danger, also please just contact your local law enforcement. Also, if you, like you said, come across his TikTok, please share his TikTok, share any
That's all
Facebook.
I need. That's
Um,
all I need is the
you know,
platform.
one
Just please keep sharing.
yeah, one repost can make a huge difference. If you have any tips, report them to law enforcement. If you wish to remain anonymous, you most likely you can. I've talked to police in Freeport myself, and they said if anyone wants to call, you do not have to state your name. You can also call *67, is what I was informed. But anyone else that is in a similar situation, has a similar story, please go ahead and email me at curiousconvopod outlook at outlook.com, and I'll be more than happy to view your story. This is serious injuries only, once again. So please make sure to note that down. Cade, I want to thank you again for joining and just being a part of this. Like I said, we love you. Our heart goes out to you, and ultimately, we just want to find Jace.
And thank you for being Jace's voice
You're
and
welcome.
giving us that platform because I just want him home. I
Yeah,
miss him so much.
we're gonna help you out, Cade. We got you.
Miss him so much.